Storytime.
「
Tial Froggy.
Good morning, owlets. Good morning. Hi. Hi. Hi, 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 hi. Hi. How are you all doing? I'm just setting up the last couple of things. I'm adjusting parameters. Last night, I got a message from Susu that included an updated model for me, messing with some of the rigging, and it's good. It took a few hours to get set up, but I'm curious to see if you can see exactly what it is. I spent some hours making little adjustments. Y'all are nasty. Why are so many people saying feet? Is it fruitier? Ah, the degeneracy is aging like a fine wine in my chat. Ah, good. Good. It's good that it's like this. Actually, I think this is great. Actually, this is a good thing. I think it's good that my chat is full of degenerates. Mont Blanc, it's just some other adjustments. You'll see. In fact, why don't we take a look now? Funny thing, as I am talking about this, I am actually making a last couple of, I'm making a last couple of adjustments. Because, I am a tinkerer. I am very, much like evolution, I am a tinkerer. You know, Pop Rocks, I think you're right. I choose to believe that that kind of emotional honesty is a good thing. Oh, you know what I just realized? Hold on, could we refund Ignite? Because I just realized I did not set up pets on this model, and could we disable pets because I need to set that up again on this model. But obviously, I am a bit out of time. Hello, Alfie. Alfie, you have not seen this yet. You didn't get the opportunity. I yelled in the work server chat, like, oh my god, you guys, you have to see this. Now, obviously, I'm going to keep doing a little bit of tinkering. Obviously, it's going to require a bit more, but here, come and take a look at this. This is a long time coming. But look. Nothing different yet. Only when I talk. Here, come closer, chat. Take a look. Susu took the time to re-rig my mouth and add a bunch more parameters. I spent hours last night adjusting a bunch of input values and input curves in VBridger, but it is so much nicer. It really follows the movement of my mouth a lot more accurately now. Not that close, you can see your... I do not have cavities, thank you very much. I had the distinct pleasure of going and getting my teeth cleaned a couple of weeks back, and the dentist said that actually my gums were in better shape than when I was in last, and they were healthy last time. So...
Is the model fiberly equipped with your trademark gigantic testes?
That's still coming. It's coming. Teach me your dental health tricks? Okay, Alfie, you want to hear my dental health tricks? Brush twice a day. I use an electric toothbrush. Don't press too hard. Make sure you're not pressing too hard. And I had a bad habit of not flossing, or I should say I had an absence of a habit of flossing. And I started flossing in the shower because I hated getting I hated getting like saliva on my fingers. It always happens, right? But making flossing a part of my shower routine actually made sure that I was flossing. But yeah, I'm very, very happy with the update to the mouth tracking. It looks a lot more natural. Hello,
Fang on full
Volpixie.
display.
It's been a hot minute. Yeah, the Fang shows a lot better now. See, like when I'm talking, you can see it a lot easier. Someone should have this VTuber model in the shower flossing. Good. But yes, I am very happy. Okay, question for all of you. I didn't get the chance to test it last night. How is it synced? Is the audio
Whoa,
synced
you
well?
are so full of mouth movements now.
Is the like is it synced to the audio well, or do I need to adjust it a little bit? Seems fine? Okay, good. Much better sync. Okay, good. Looks good. Excellent. All right, cool. I do not tend to eat on stream. I don't like it. I don't like doing it. But look, I can actually I can chew now.
TL dance.
See, it tracks the jaw separately from the mouth now, which is why the teeth can move inside of the mouth. Ah, it's so nice. I'm just like appreciating it right now. Yeah, Q. This brings me closer to Limes' mouth tracking. Like, Limes' mouth tracking is the best in the game. But this gets me close. I'll take close. Oh, Suzu. Thanks for gifting a sub to Alfie. Alfie, congratulations on your froggy. I know that you'll use it responsibly. Oh. And thanks for gifting out a sub just in general. That's very generous of you, Suzu. Also, Nintendona for the 17 months. Dave with the 100 bits. Robin the Raven with 14 months. Aiden Copycat. Oh my god, with the 10 months. Oh my god, Red at level 3 Hype Train. Wow, this is carrying on. Goodness gracious. Or sorry, not to say. Shoosh. I spent last night doing a little bit of debugging with Susu. So I've been saying that name a lot. I feel like a little bit of the tracking in other places has been improved as well. Though I think that might just be that I made it a bit more sensitive. Oh my gosh. Wait. Trev, thank you for gifting out 5 subs. Thank you. You're being so generous. Owlets. You are being far too kind. Oh yeah, music would be nice, wouldn't it? I've just been sitting here in dead silence. Because I have been entranced by the mouth movements. It is so strange having such accurate mouth movements after like the last like the rigging on the rigging previously was good. Make no mistake. But this is another level. This is a level up. This is a lot more than just a tinker. I have to look at it a lot. And so I like when it looks good. Oh, Ender, thank you for gifting a sub to Trev. Yeah, Trev gifting out subs and then not having a sub himself. Thank you. And Nolani, thanks for gifting out 2 subs. Hey. Shoosh, thanks for gifting out a sub to Alfie. And then another just to the people. Music, I can do this. There we go. Oh my goodness. Wait, the hype train is continuing. Oh my goodness. Solon Winter, thanks for the fresh sub. Welcome in. It is a peculiar place you found yourself, but you are welcome here. This is... Wait, I have something. This is not your grave, but you are welcome in it. Marco Japetus, thank you for the 32 months as well. Oh my gosh, brown sausage coffee with the 10 months. And a froggy. Good. Oh, I need to get my owlet out here. Get over here. Ah. There you are. I'll get you right there. Good. There. You know what? I'll take a minute. Maybe I do that during the BRB. Maybe I set up the head pats during the BRB. Or I do it after. If I'm being responsible, I do it after. I talk quickly, and it's really nice to see the model keeping up with the speed of my speech. I have a problem where I think a bit faster than I can talk. And so I have a bad habit of leaving ideas behind if I don't talk quickly enough sometimes. Oh, you like this track? This is Big Top Bazaar from Odem Meadow. Odemmedo. It's a Halloween-themed lo-fi. I like lo-fi. I'm tired of pretending that I don't. Because it's so useful for me while I'm working. It reminds me that I have a bad habit of getting really lodged in what I'm working on. And when I do, I forget where I am and I start working without really considering the fact that I am a human, and I need a minute, and lo-fi helps keep me grounded. It reminds me, right, I am a person who is currently, like, typically at the computer. When I'm working, all my work is computer bound. Hi, Alfie. Why are you saying gauge? Why are you gauging me? Isn't it kind of amazing, everyone, how in middle school, my favorite thing to do was to call people gay. And then I entered college, and I kind of grew out of it, right? And now I'm well graduated from college. And what's happening again? We're calling each other gay again. It all comes full circle. We're back. We're back, baby. They thought they could keep us down. Oh my goodness. Shoosh. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. See, this is the duality of the outlets. Shoosh gives out 5 community subs just being an absolute sweetheart, as they typically are. Like, this is, understand, this is just one manifestation of Shoosh just being a sweetheart. And then immediately, Cerulean, who has been subbed for 9 months, uses their monthly message to say, gay, to call me gay. I wonder if this is just a general teasing me, or if this is in support of Alfie, or both. This could be both. What do you think? It's gay month. I mean, you're not wrong. You'll do it again. I believe you. Okay, you know what? Hey, we need a running list of rules now for specific chatters. If Clown Pubes ever says anything other than Clown Pubes must be banned. And now, if Cerulean ever does anything other with their... If Cerulean... thanks, it's Soki. Thanks, Mochi. Little shit. And thank you for the 5 months, Soki. Maybe, you know what? Maybe it's just Mochi. Maybe it's Mochi sliding these messages in. You know what? My outlets, my chat, would never be so crass as to call me gay. They would never call me gay derogatorily. They are only ever kind and sweet. So it must be Mochi, who is being evil, who is taking the kind, loving remarks of my outlets and twisting them into derogatory, homophobic statements. It must be. That's my new headcanon to keep myself going. So, we have a list. Okay, making a list of rules now.
Gauge.
We don't get rules because Mochi cannot stop interrupting me and calling me gay. Troublemaker. Iron Fox, thank you for the 10 months.
Nah, Fred is gay, complimentary.
Aw, see, that is pure from my chat. right? Chat's being kind. There are no rules, only homosexuality. Government mandated gay sex. More than once a month, I'm reminded of, what was it? Say Gex, the remix of Mike. Sex with a man, sex with a man, sex with a sex with a sex with a man. I think about it with distressing frequency. God, I'm gonna leave this zoomed in, this stream, because I just want to appreciate the mouth movements on this model. Oh my god. Watching it work. Oh, also, by the way, the tongue's working now. Eh. Eh. I have a tongue now. I have no idea how frequently I will actually use that. Also, sometimes I wet my lips, right? I lick my lips, and now...
It's gay Fredrik, you're gay Fredrik. It's gay, you're gay now.
You're gay now. I like the idea that I only became gay
Your
because
Mad
of
Max
like...
Wasteland Warlord name is the Teabagging Tester Tormentor.
Holy hell, we made it to level 6. What's our record? What's our hype train record? Because I think it only allows the record to increment by 1 every time. Do we have a record of what the record is? You bought bits just to call... Oh, these are like fresh bits that you bought. Oh my goodness. Wait, what is that emote that we got?
Gay. Both derogatory and affectionately.
I think, okay. Okay, this has happened in the past. I'll be hanging out with friends, right? There's some friends that I like to cuddle. And I will be cuddling with a friend, and then we'll look, like one of us will look at the other and say, ha, gay. It's like, motherfucker. You're the one, like, you're cuddling me too, and it's like, yeah. You're gay. Fruit. That has happened. Arnetro, thank you for the 4 months.
You are presenting at virality later, not beating the allegations. Also, I'm excited for that.
Oh, thank you, Snack Bros. Yeah, I'm gonna be...
try to ward off Russian subs via threats of homosexuality. It's part of Alfie's culture.
So, usually...
Gay
oh my
means
god.
happy, and stupid people used it as a derogatory slur, but not anymore. It's a happy homosexual. I might be straight, but I love gay people.
Valid. Absolutely valid. Yeah. Why can't we have gay gays? Exactly. Also, Absolute Insanity, thank you for the 300 bits. I don't know about this. What?
Gay month, Fred, you are now honorary gay, so the gay council has spoken.
Oh my goodness, thank you for the bits. Alpha, yeah, no, you're not sorry. That is a perfunctory apology. I know you. I am honorary gay. I like the idea of someone actually being gay and then declaring that they are an honorary gay, right? Like, someone gets a PhD, right? Like, they actually earn their PhD, but then they're... Oh my god, Netro. Holy hell. 20 gifted subs. Our Netro is just, like, slamming 10 gifted subs down on the table, and then slams another 10 down. Just bam. Wait, wait, you're just gonna slam 20 gifted subs on the table and then leave? slams 20 gifted subs on the table, refuses to elaborate, leaves. This is some Austrian wine poisoning shit. Putting the bottle of diethylene glycol on the table and being like, this is what they're putting in the wine, and then leaving. Slams 20 on the table. I mean, yeah, God, Christ, thank you very much. That is incredibly kind of you. Yeah, see ya. I don't know if you're going to be at Ferality, but this afternoon, check the schedule. It's at 4 Eastern, but I'm going to be conducting an interview with Changa, who is someone who lived in the Prancing Skiltair, still does, to my knowledge. Like the original furry house. Thank you, Totoro. Susu did an amazing job updating the model.
Did you see the TERF lesbian dating app that used AI to ID and reject trans women, that flagged the creator as trans with 97% confidence?
Yes, I did see that. God, I love that. It is beautiful. Yeah, that did happen. Happy Pride, everyone. There was a person trying to use AI to identify trans women for a lesbian dating app and reject them, and then the owner was identified by this algorithm, by this image analysis as being trans. So hey Ryan, good to see you. Susu has been working on this model update for a while. It's been, I think it's been a little while, but you saw similar mouth tracking on Susu's model when I joined her on her stream. That was a good stream. I really want to stream more with Susu. I think, Ryan, when we do more bad movie nights, we should definitely hit up Susu. MK. And I love you, random citizen. Oh, did that? Hold on. Stickeneer. Okay, I remember this. That was extremely amusing. Yeah, you might have learned it from me. It was very fun, getting help looking at German sources, or I should say like Austrian sources in German, with Vex helping me, and discovering facts that English publications about the Austrian wine poisoning had gotten wrong, and being able to sort of correct those. Grizzly Boar, thank you for gifting out a sub. And an anonymous gifter gifting a sub to Furry Detector. Do you think that there will be, ja, auf Deutsch, genau. I wonder, do you think that there will ever be an app that is used to scan people to discover if they are furry? Because this happens at airports. Furries can
Computer
detect...
scientists, we made a dumb idiot that's wrong most of the time. Tech CEOs, put it in every product.
Put it in every product. Okay, Indie Rooster Knight, to be fair, wrong much of the time. If a person was wrong as frequently as okay, let me rephrase this. If a person was wrong in the ways and as frequently as these large language models are, they would never be permitted near any of the company's work. Furries can detect one another. And not just because there are stickers, right? Like, a furry can be totally incognito, but furries can sniff out their own kind. Talks. Talk says you can always detect a furry at an airport. Just look for a badge that says pilot. No, Alfie, furries in chat, you can absolutely attest to this, correct? You all know this. You can detect furries. It's a mascot costume to the people. Oh yeah, JTD, I'll bet. I told the story of when I got invited to a furry convention by Nick. I joined and I got a dragon titty mouse pad for my brother as a gag gift, right? Like, my brother's not a furry. And so I figured getting him a gag gift would be fun. As I am flying back, I'm going through security to get back home. Guys,
don't listen to him. He's a furry.
Shut the fuck up. Silence. As I am going through security, security stops me and goes through my bag and says, like, no, can I take a look? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And security pulls out the dragon titty mouse pad, and this woman just stares at me with this big grin. And in that moment, I felt so self-conscious that I actually blurted out, no, that it's a gag gift for my brother. And funny enough, I think she believed me. But the funny thing is, my brother got the last laugh, because I gave him the dragon titty mouse pad, and instead of going, Fred, what the fuck is this? He said, this is awesome. And then started using it. And it has been, I think, hold on, 6 years. It has been almost 6 years. And he is still using the dragon titty mouse pad. Corey would, yeah, Ender can attest. I can't use mouse pads with wrist support because it ends up hurting my wrist. I tried using them for a while. It's not good for my wrist. I have very narrow wrists. I'm a kind of person would call me lithe. Also, hey, an anonymous gifter gifted a sub to Fred is Gay. Great. Cool. Wonderful. Gauge. I'm getting gauged endlessly. Yes, D-luckiest. I do. My arm is set up straight. What stories today? Today we're going to be reading a classic bit of magical realism called A Very Old Man with Enormous Wings. It was a story that was recommended to me by a good friend whose father is an English teacher. And it's a story that they love. It's a story that my friend's dad would read to him at night before going to bed. I think a lot of people read it for school, but it's one of those stories you read for school that is actually legitimately really good. Like, modern, right? Like, it holds. It's not that old. It's not a terribly old story. It is a story from Colombia. So, Colombians represented. I was chatting with Aoife about it, and Aoife's immediate reaction to the fact that I was reading a story from Colombia was, oh yeah, God, like, South Americans do magical realism really well. And my reply was, yeah, it's a magical realism story. Yeah, they did practically invent it. Also, Valken, thanks for gifting a sub to Fred is a Furry. You forgot to make that one anonymous, Valken. You goofed that one. And thank you, definitely anonymous person who we don't know, for gifting a sub to Gaedrick, which sounds a bit like a slur. God, I love that the model now can show when I'm sort of, like when I am wetting my lips, or like my lips are tucked in, right? It's kind of amazing. The tracking is amazing. Sounds like a Tolkien character. It kind of does. Gaedrick. My mind immediately went to Drix. Oh, thanks for the raid, Agiri. Welcome in. Hey,
Fredrik,
raids
the
of...
adopting Nagian gonads, regales their audience with an extraordinary tale.
Raids of all sizes are appreciated, don't worry. Thanks for the bits, Spec Ops. Thank you so much, everyone, for the bits. Like, it's very kind of you. The hype train ended a while ago, and it... Everyone's being so sweet. I still need to set up a lot of things, but Welcome on in, your raiders. I hope you had a good stream. I always hear that in Slush's voice. I'm a frequenter of Slush's streams. Oh, and Olivia, thanks for the raid as well. Welcome in, you guys. Good to have you. I'm showing off the update to the mouth tracking that Susu did for me. Very, very kind of her. Don't let me say Shushu when I mean Susu and vice versa. Call me out. One of my greatest social fears...
Hi Fat Knuts. Hope you're doing well on this fine day, and thank you for the meet and greet at Off-Kai this year. I had a really good time chatting with Yeti Al Hug.
Oh, I had a lot of fun at the meet and greet. Oh my god, everyone was so sweet. First, thank you for the 2 months. But there was, oh my god, okay, there were a bunch of people from Junie's chat who were at Off-Kai that came and bothered me. I got to see some friends. Kijit stopped by my booth and said hi. Kijit held up his card, like his badge, and I'm as if I couldn't recognize him immediately by his voice. And then, oh my god, it was so cute. There were some girls, sisters, I think, who were just incredibly excited to meet me, and one of them was so nervous that she couldn't talk, and it was absolutely precious, and I did everything that I could to assuage them. It was adorable. They were actually the people who got the signed card. Like, they got an ultra rare pull from Card Pack. And the people running the Kawa booth said that they were so excited that there was no way they couldn't let them go first. It was so sweet. Oh, Manamari, yeah. I did a meet and greet at San Japan. I have found myself, like, I struggle, I think, when I'm being interviewed because it's hard for me to talk about myself. I can talk about my work, but I think I've figured out how to do meet and greets, right? Like, they bring up something that I've done that they like, and so I start drilling into that, right? I'm figuring it out, how to make the experience good. Oh, Shushu, if we end up at Dokumi, Please come and say hi if you're there and we're doing meet and greets. Alfie, I think that clearly you just need more time in America. We need to make you more American. That's the problem. Intellect. It all depends on where ASTRALINE's partners end up. Because typically, we do meet and greets wherever our partners are, where they can set us up. Oh, Rias, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. How are the goons treating you? I'm not sure how they are now. I know that when Asher took over, and I'm biased because, like, in the course of making the Eve video, I became friends with Asher. But there was a lot of hopefulness when Asher took over about sort of positive cultural changes for the goons. So I hope that it's treating you well. Sorry, I'm talking shop. I spent so much time immersed in Eve that it's hard not to end up continuing to talk about that. Oh, Grizzly Boar, thanks for gifting a sub to Mentellect. And Valken for gifting a sub to T Owlet. And definitely not Valken for gifting a sub to Not Me Daddy. I don't like that I know what that means. Oh, Rias. Okay, that's heartening. That's really heartening to hear. Have fun. I'm so glad you're having fun. I ended up in a similar game to Eve Online. Eve didn't quite scratch the itch that I had. I've been enjoying Foxhole a lot. That's kind of the game that scratches that itch for me. Also, by the way, Kinesix, thank you for the 2 months. I don't think that I properly thanked you for that. What's Foxhole? Foxhole is an interwar period themed top-down MMO shooter where all of the equipment is made and shipped by players. Which, it's kind of interesting. You have player-made logistics lines. Oh. And another person who's definitely not Valken, gifting a sub to Owlcock. I see what's on your mind. You know, one of these days, one of these joke accounts is going to show up. In fact, that already happened. Someone going by Feet was gifted a sub, and they ended up in my chat. Turns out they're a game dev. Turns out Feet on Twitch is a game dev. Surprise. Yeah, Rias, the politics are interesting, aren't they? The politics, I had to skim over a lot of them for the video. Because there's a lot more than just the goons, right? There's a lot more than the Imperium, but the Imperium really sort of... They are, as much as people hate to admit it, the Imperium kind of is the main character of Nullsec. They've been around for almost the entire time that the game has been alive, and, you know, with various names, but still the same organization. And every major war has revolved around... The only war that hasn't revolved around them was the Great War, to get rid of Band of Brothers. But even then, like, they were in that war. Oh my gosh, Netro, thanks for... Oh... Netro gifted a sub to the official Foxhole Twitch account. The official, like, let me double check. Is this the official one? Looks like it.
Did you see that Tuber Feet Connoisseur gave you and your gen mates an official rating and you got 81 out of 100?
Yes, I did see VTuber Feet Connoisseur gave us a rating and rated my feet quite highly. I am proud. Who knows, maybe we can make some improvements in the future. I am flattered to have such highly rated feet. But yeah, what do 100% feet look like? That's a good question. I think, was it Lumi who rated above me in ASTRALINE? Honestly, earned. The boots are really cool. They're very good boots. Hey. I was watching Starboy Blue after I raided into him yesterday. And I realized I have the impulse to welcome in everyone, but I don't feel like I reasonably can. I'm going to miss someone and make people feel bad. So instead I just chat, respond to chats that I like. But Larry and Jihad, yeah, you want to see the grippers that bad? Well, sorry, they're a bit covered. This is what 81% feet look like. You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like. I like the heels. Don't lick my boots. Yeah, nice. I like the metal here. Makes me think it would cause some damage if I kicked someone. Oops, I grabbed Mochi. You're gonna be okay. You know what? Mochi is gonna be dangling. We're gonna dangle Mochi. There. There. Wait, dangling. Good. There. Very Dalmy looking boots for such a bottom. It's so cute.
Any recommended spots in Tokyo, Fred? Is War Tundra a no-no in your book?
Recommend... Oh, thanks for the 5 months. Are these two separate questions? They don't seem to have terribly much bearing on one another. Can't say that I am an expert on Japan, unfortunately. What I can say is that if you are traveling and you want to experience the culture, take some time.
P.O. Business Pulk J.
What? Father, the blood is pooling to my head. Okay, fine. You're so whiny. There, you can hang. There, you can hang right side up. If you are traveling, the best recommendation I can give you, if you really want to experience the culture, go to the countryside. Because in the city, sure, most of the places where you are going to be directed tend to be kind of touristy. And it's the culture that maybe the country just puts forward. But if you want to see the real culture, go to the countryside. That's where people are just being. And you might see some old buildings, but that is the true cultural legacy of a country. How do the people in the countryside live? Find a small town. Now, I don't know how well this is going to work in Japan, right? Japan is kind of xenophobic. you will experience a lot of prejudice if you are not Japanese. Yeah, maybe don't do that in the American South, but you're probably safe in Japan, even if some doors will be closed. Yeah, don't do that in America. America can be pretty dangerous depending on where you go. It is a very big country. But, you know, most places. Yeah, don't go to the countryside in America if you're foreign. That could be dangerous. But, depending. Germany, I imagine you can go to the countryside and be relatively safe. I wouldn't say avoiding red states is necessary. But, towns, yeah, sticking to cities in America is fine. Yeah, it really depends. Like, America is a huge country. Stay away from the sundown towns. Yeah, very much so. Stay away from the sundown towns. But I would say have a guide. If you're going to go to America and you want to do the tourist thing, I would highly recommend knowing someone before you go. America's tricky. But if you're an American traveling abroad, then taking some time to go to a smaller town, if you really want to see what a country is like, that'll help. Yeah, Elvish Fun, they're real. They're still around. Yeah, Jordan, people in the countryside often won't speak English, but, you know, learn some German. Right? That's on you. That's your responsibility. Yeah, Angel, I get you. It really depends on the country. If you can go to the countryside safely, maybe that's a better way of saying it. Also, I played War Thunder. I got really frustrated with War Thunder because being a new player, you are a guaranteed net negative on your team because you have fewer respawns. You get fewer respawns when you are a new player in War Thunder. And that really got to me. I really like, and if you're going to play a competitive game, I feel like things like it should be an even playing field. Now, if there's a larger context for why something isn't an even playing field, I feel like that's reasonable, right? In Foxhole, like we ran out of supplies because the supply lines are longer to this fight. Okay, well that's reasonable, right? Like, this is an uphill battle. We knew that was going to happen. But in an instance-based game, a match-based game like War Thunder, things have got to be at least kind of even, right? And that frustrates me. I'm a very competitive person. I guess you could argue that chess is similar because white has an advantage because it gets to go first. It starts up a tempo. But I think that the fact that you always will play as white and black in any reasonable setting, that makes it more reasonable. Yeah, you learn to counter. Chess doesn't even have tech trees or fog of war. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Spectral, the progression really turned me off. War Thunder on its face, right? The mechanics are really cool. I like the mechanics a lot. But cannot justify playing it to myself. There's too much getting... With War Thunder, there is too much getting in the way of me in the game. Does that make sense? That barrier is too high. And I'm not ready to invest the money it would take to get through. Right, Spectral. I would much rather play a different game that lets me do the things that I want to do. Progression in a game should serve a specific function. It should make sure that the player is not being overwhelmed, one, and it should give the player something to work towards. Those are the two functions that progression in a game should have. Helldivers did it really well, right? It gives you easy to use things at the beginning, and then gives you more difficult things to use as you go. However, the things that you unlock early are not bad. God knows I know a lot of people who would swear by the expendable anti-tank. Right? Like, it is a weapon that tons of people use at Helldive difficulty. They're not bad, they're just easier to use and more forgiving. And so they lock the more difficult stuff to higher tiers, right? The mech is awesome, but it's hard to use. Yeah, Spectral, it does promote sharing. It's like, here, take this. Give it a try. More specialized? Well, that specialization makes it more difficult to use, though. God, I am so entranced by the mouth tracking. I have a bad habit of sort of... How do I describe it? Of scrunching my face up to one side, and the tracking is capturing that habit. Like, I do this. I do that sometimes. I do it habitually. This is going to train that out of me because it's capturing it and I'm forced to look at it. Yeah, the eyes are really good too, aren't they? I feel like that really was just changing values. I hadn't adjusted the values on the model in quite some time. If you do a nose scrunch, VBridger has a parameter to track that. Really? Hi, Susu. I've been admiring myself. I'm going full Dorian Gray. I'll just sit here for a year and admire myself in the mirror. My model was kind of modeled after me, so I don't know if this is narcissistic to be liking my model this much. That actually has been a little bit of a concern for myself because my model is a bit similar to me, has very similar traits. Are you admiring my morphophysiology? Thanks, Measurehead. Yeah, why not like yourself? I can't like myself. Then I'll never improve. That is actually a very toxic trait that I have. A lot of my self-improvement comes from self-criticism and self-hatred. Like, I don't feel good for completing something. I just feel bad for not. Should have gone with a model that was identical to you. I saw someone putting together a PNG-ish tuber that was tied to Vizeme's. So just depending on which Vizeme was showing up, I don't know what the term is for VTubing. I just know the term in like VR chat and 3D modeling. But mouth shape, the blend shape, mouth shape.
Like
I don't
yourself.
know.
Like yourself now. Mike
No.
Mold.
No. Wait, brain. Okay, I saw that someone was putting together a PNG tuber that was just a bunch of different photographs of their own face. Like, it's a VTubing model, but the model is photographs of themselves, of himself. And it is cursed as hell. It's stupid. It's smart, but it's stupid. It's creative misuse. Oh, whoopsie daisy. Keep back there. But Susu, you did such an amazing job on this rigging. Oh, god damn it. I need to like click out of the window. There we go. I'm trying to scroll up to see what Susu was saying. And instead I'm just... You're learning to have a god complex. Yes. I am a self-hating god. No, I didn't put on auto-breathing on anything. But look, it's like... The tracking is so nice. I adjusted the curves a little bit so that the mouth tracking is really nice. The mouth tracking Varg Shroom. I haven't seen that. I don't keep up with what Joel's doing, really. I mean, you're breathing naturally. Do you think that's air you're breathing? Ah, look at that. I can squint my eyes now. I think that actually has to do with the improved like, did you change anything other than the mouth, Susu? Because I didn't used to be able to be this I didn't used to be able to be this smug. I like that. Oh, Totoro, thank you. Like, tell your sister thank you. Didn't do anything on the eye. It's a new V-Bridger preset. Ah, okay. So the preset's just better. Oh, Grizzly Boar, thanks for gifting a sub to Susu. Thank you so much, everyone. You all have been so generous today. Squint. Yeah, I can... Iron Fox? Hold on. Iron Fox said, Fred can now squirt at us judgmentally. I'm pinning that. They meant to say squint. Hee. Oh my god, this is so good. I feel like I just got my model new again. That is the immensity of how this feels. I like this. This is another level. Going to put it on the board. Oh dear. You gave Lauren a note. Remember when I removed the lips? Oh my god, the beak lips. Feel free to lurk, Susu. Wait till you get that perfect sync. Right, yeah. There's some more stuff you need to do. I know that you won't be able to for a while, but this acts as a more than excellent stopgap. This makes me want to play more Killer in Dead by Daylight on stream. I am steeping my tea a little at a lower temperature, and it's nice. Yes, I am killer main. I play a lot of Survivor, like whenever, when I'm playing with friends, but I have historically been mostly killer. Dredge. Dredge is my main. I understand that he is not quote unquote good, but I like him. So I play him. I like scaring people. I like that 3-gen for a Dredge means something different for him than everyone else. Yeah, talks, entering the Matrix. Which one am I? I like it. Okay, so, hey guys. I do have a hard limit on stream for 3 hours, so we still got hours ahead of us. However, okay. There is a particular kind of video that I have found I quite like. I do not participate in any esports anymore. Like, I don't play anything competitively anymore. Even though by the way, Helldivers Invitational, definitely happening when the Illuminate drop. New one happening. But I enjoy watching videos about esports which I have no intention of playing. And there was a new one that dropped that I am following. You might remember him, Jeff Mendocino. As in Jeff from Game Life. And he shared a video, a little 15-minute video that looked interesting to me, talking about Kirby top to bottom tier. You want to check it out together? I think that would be fun. From a YouTuber called Leon Massey. Yeah, talking about Kirby. Now, Kirby used to, in the first game was very strong. This is something that I just like watching. Videos about esports, which I have no intention of playing. Let's check it out. I watched a little bit of it. I think it would be fun. Oh, there's also a CoffeeZilla video. I watched it, but I'd absolutely be willing to watch it again. What do you think? Maybe we watch that before story time.
Smash 64's smorgasbord of a cast would have been crafted without a guideline. It wasn't flying completely blind thanks to inspirations of King of Fighters and the whole generation of Street Fighter 2 likes, but it was also having to evolve into its own niche. The conflict between being an IP fish that grew legs so that it could explore the lands of a new genre, and the predator that was Nintendo's established IP needing to feed off of its success would have created a development food chain that was unpredictable. There was no way to know if Mario could coexist with Link in a game that was fun, not to mention how blank canvases like Captain Falcon had to find their identity, with the only direction being they do cars, but no cars. This likely put balance as a concept that was low on the priority list, with the negligence resulting in a clear strongest character.
Isn't it kind of wild that F-Zero ended up represented in Smash Brothers as one of their core properties? Like, there were multiple Mario characters, but for Pokemon, there was just Pikachu. Isn't that kind of weird?
Pikachu. But Kirby was a close second. Finding himself brushing up against the best list after list, there was very little debate that Kirby was strong. In a cast of characters that couldn't figure out whether they should tie their shoelaces or attempt to eat them,
there's
Kirby's
Jigglypuff, you're right.
unimpressive but fundamentally solid moveset kept him close to the top at every skill level and eating shoelaces like a champ. Big hitboxes.
Wait a minute, why did they decide to make Jigglypuff another playable character in Smash Brothers? That's an odd choice, right? Thinking back on it, I feel like people... Yeah, hold on, we'll freeze frame on the Kirby drip.
And eating shoelaces like a champ.
Not the Yadas. It was a really weird choice, right? Like there were so many others, right? You could have done another starter and just didn't. Should have used Mr. Mime. Stop. Was originally supposed to be the mascot. Oh, so maybe that was a decision made early on in its lifespan.
Big hitboxes allowed him to control his space with ease, allowing him to hunker down, take his space, and make it a nightmare to contest it. Thanks to Smash 64's success, Nintendo was now fat with the finances of paying customers, so it was only natural that another Smash was on the way, one where Kirby would be trash. A lot of Melee's early tier lists, while maybe...
So you all want a fun little lore fact. The first video game that I ever played was Mario Kart 64. However, the first game that I ever owned, that my parents got for me, was Kirby's Dream Land for the Game Boy. My first console was a Game Boy Pocket. It was fine. The other first game I had was Super Mario Land, and that was not great. However, Kirby's Dream Land I played over and over again, to the point that I probably could have speedrun it if I so desired, but I just enjoyed completing it over and over. You had to do it in one go, by the way, because there was no saving. There was no save file for Kirby's Dream Land. You just had to beat it in one go. Which is, it's a decision.
Representative of the time are definitely questionable in retrospect. Sheik is the best until 2005 seems egregious.
I did. Oh yes, X-Pac. Of course I played hard mode. Yeah, I would typically just beat hard mode when I was a kid.
Until you noticed that Pikachu was below Link, and Ice Climbers was neighboring the semi-detached with Zelda at house number 18. But even from the early 2000s crack pipe until now, people seem to agree Kirby is arse. Slaloming between the bottom 5 slots, he's undeniably bad.
Slumming in at number 5.
But when compared to the same Kirb 2 years ago, the downfall's been tragic.
That was a Paper Mario sound effect.
Undeniably bad. But when compared to the same Kirb 2 years ago, the downfall's been tragic enough to put him in an alcoholic PSA. If you look at these characters side by side though, at a basic level, they're alcoholic PSA. If you look at these characters...
You versus the guy that she tells you not to worry about. At least he shaves his balls.
Side by side though, at a basic level, very little has changed.
Yeah, Monkey Island was very popular in the German-speaking countries and like Europe. Like they're just popular in Europe in general, especially German-speaking countries, but also just in Europe. Donkey Kong Country. Pharaoh. I don't think I've seen Pharaoh. Wait a minute. Didn't Seth make a video about Pharaoh? Seth Zintak? Intrusive thought, Kirby is always shaved. Okay, hold on. Poll. Is Kirby fuzzy or, I guess, hairless? Duration, 2 minutes. Start the poll. I want to see how many people think that Kirby is hairy. Am I getting a message? Who's messaging me? Okay, we're fine. Never mind. That boy is rubber. We got a few fuzzy people in chat. Okay. He's kind of silicone. You'd think that your fingers would grip onto him.
64's up air became Melee's nair, with Melee's up air being made from scratch. Now he's got the same diversification of throws that everyone else got. The moves that made him strong in 64, like up tilt and bear, are still here. But despite their similarities, the connection between these two characters is one of ontology, the same ancestor, but a different genus. Kirby in 64 is very complete. Every aerial he throws out has a real honkin' hog of a hitbox. Shit looking like a can of monsters, bigger than my iPhone type beat, which when
Anyone else?
hog of a hitbox. Shit.
Anyone up tugging their honkin' hog of a hitbox?
Looking like a can of monsters, bigger than my iPhone type beat, which when combined with 64's Z cancel, which removes all aerial landing lag, sets up walls that are very hard to approach. That lets him set down a castle or photon cannon wherever he is, requiring the opponent to force Kirby out of his position. Ideally, that'd be nesting under a side platform that lets him cover multiple approaching options at once, or top platform that has bear and fair complemented by up tilt or dare. These moves could let Kirby play keep away, denying the opponent space in a very passive pattern of wait and see rejections, followed up by consistent punishes. The multi-hit of fair and dare often led to up tilt follow-ups, occasionally leading into fair extensions, but more often than not leading to bear and nair. It's not often that these outright killed, but that wasn't 88%. A problem.
Wow, that there still is a 12% contingent that says that Kirby is fuzzy. Kirby is textured like a pool ball. Oh yeah, Kirby's smooth. I guess the real question is, does Kirby... Oh, whoa. Wait, what? What? Wait, what's happening? What is happening to my model? Uh-oh. 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 What's happening? Bro, you okay? Fellow, are you alright? Fella. Uh-oh. That's my phone causing problems. Or maybe the connection? Whatever. It'll fix itself. It always does.
The real advantage of these moves was how consistently it put your opponent off stage, where Kirby's real kill potential kicked in. With 6 jumps, Kirby can trail you off stage and make it back without having to put themselves in too much risk. But when paired with down tilt, which is both disjointed and low hitting, he's always in a position to catch 2 or 3 different recovery options just by throwing out different hitboxes at the right time. This edgeguard potential, in a game where many...
Oh goodness. Okay. VTube Studio is fine. V-Bridger is fine. It's the phone. Okay, let me try something. Do that. Okay. Still connected to the Wi-Fi. So that should be fine. Relaunching. One moment. Here, I'll jingle the keys.
Any character's recovery is pretty poor, has him blast through almost the entire cast, with the notable exception being Pikachu, in part because that character's fast and diverse recovery makes Kirby unable to capitalize on their most lethal point of play. It's not the flashiest, but solid moves allow for a basic game plan of difficult to challenge defense that capitalizes on sloppy approaches, a pair of qualities that create a tight game plan. Melee Kirby, on the other hand, well, a wise man once said, preheat the oven to 200 degrees and cook for 20 to 25 minutes. Just because you know the saying doesn't mean you live by it.
Oh yeah, that seems about done.
Melee Kirby still needs some time in the oven. A lot of people will tell you that's because there's still plenty of raw dough and how it shouldn't have bugs in it, though I think that's just the immediately bitter taste the character leaves in your mouth, when the real problem is the salmonella that's crawling all over it. Take Bear, for example. In 64, this is a strong walling attack. Its size makes it hard to challenge, and Z-cancels make it hard to bait and punish. In Melee, it's still decently sized, but look at those little piggies sticking out. That extended hurt box doesn't make the move useless, but it nudges the attack's quality down. Characters now have a much greater opportunity to trade with it, and characters with particularly disjointed attacks are able to challenge it directly. Then consider that Z cancels don't exist here. You have L cancels, which only remove half of the typical delay. By itself, that has very little impact, but when mixed with the system changes, present some problems. Movement in 64 has to be very deliberate. Once you start going forward, there's no way to quickly move in and out of the space. You're either going to stop or jump away, especially since shielding as an option carries a lot of risk thanks to the extended shield stun and hit stun. Grounded movement in Melee, on the other hand, is a lot more fluid. If 64 moves like KOF, then Melee moves like Marvel. The movement isn't devoid of the concept of
Fox shows up. Fox shows up, and this is all I can think about anymore.
Hey, Star Fox. I just wanted to reach out and request a ceasefire for... Are you guys going trick-or-treating?
Suck my fucking ass, you goddamn stuttering fucking parrot!
Are you...
Fuck off!
Are you guys going trick-or-treating? Are you guys going trick-or-treating?
Are you going sucking?
Are you good?
Are you going sucking?
The laugh kills me every time. Starwolf's laugh is so perfect.
Star Fox, I just wanted to reach out and request a ceasefire for... Are you guys going trick-or-treating?
Suck my fucking ass, you goddamn stuttering fucking parrot!
Are you...
Fuck off!
Are you guys going trick-or-treating?
I love his laugh so much. His voice is absolutely perfect. I love it. Are you going cocksucking? According to chat, apparently. The wheeze is so good.
Commitment, but its flexibility doesn't let someone just throw out a normal and control a bunch of the screen for free. You have to spend a barometer first. Dash dancing and wave dashing lets characters move with less commitment, making a button that's strength is controlling a large set position weaker, since face rolling the grey stick right at the opponent can now be corrected before you're punished. That'd make the move weaker, but it doesn't make the move inherently bad. Puff's been terrorizing the Mind Palace of Smashers for years with a move that occupies the exact same idea. The difference there though comes back to movement. Puff has a lot of aerial drift, letting her dip in and out of space while she's in the air, while Kirby has such little horizontal mobility that he has to tank the spot that he's currently standing in. This was still the case in 64, but the mobility was lower across the board, making this a bit of a non-issue. All of these factors combined clearly nerf the attack, both directly and indirectly, and can be expanded to basically every attack in his kit. Dare gets significantly weak without Z cancels to give it advantage on block, and thanks to Uptilt's relationship to it, it also impacts the rest of the chain. Fair started working at half of the active frames with less reliable results. A loss in functionality so severe it might as well be called Boris, Liz and Rishi. Up air... No, it's pretty good actually. Hard to use, but hey, it's something. Almost every single aspect of his kit is now worse, on an individual level that goes on to impact the cohesion of the entire kit, and directly lessens the effectiveness of a walling character who benefits from a lethal punish game. However, Kirby being nerfed in a literal sense is not the biggest problem. In reality, it's a small slice of the problem pie that is again covered in salmonella. The real issue for Kirby is the entire system.
That fucking salmonerby will haunt me.
System tray that the character is baked in. 64 as a game almost seems tailored to...
I paused for a second because more than once when I have combined words, I have accidentally said no words. I feel like my vocabulary is very peculiar. When I am... Okay, you would think that when I am in a high-stress environment, I would start cursing a lot more. But when I play Helldivers, do you want to know the most common... what? Not expletive. My most common, yell. The word I want to go for is ejaculation, because, that is a it used to mean speaking, and I've been reading old fiction lately. Like, if someone speaks very loudly and suddenly, people would say, like, instead of said, they'd say ejaculated. Exclamation. My most common exclamation when I am playing Helldivers is, and I'm not kidding, I yell, golly. I can't tell you why. I say golly a lot. Yeah, Spectral can attest to this. Spectral joins for Helldivers quite frequently. And yes, the most common thing I say when I'm getting thrown around is golly. Are you CDI Link? If ban anyone using Jabroni Mike's Link emote. What, now my mod's using it? Fuck you, Burninator. No, don't give, that gives them permission. You didn't do anything, Spectral, you're fine.
To Kirby and how unique it is by the standards of Smash. That emerges most obviously in what was absent from future games that would make the series feel less oppressive than a lot of traditional fight.
No, sorry, this isn't a revolution. This is a coup.
DI, for example, is in 64, but only as what people would know in other Smash games as Smash DI, where the initial hit can be nudged slightly, making Kirby's combo routes much more reliable than they would be in future entries. Hit stun and block stun, while overstated in its length a little, could still pretty comfortably put 6 foot in the Tinder bio and get away with it. Movement, again, is very deliberate. It's not sourceless, but pivot up tilt is ketchup. Melee's got barbecue sauce and flavors that turn this into a whole new meal. Melee also has substantially lower hit stun and block stun, along with the movement that created the butterfly effect, letting these 4 boys make 6 figures a month, but not barbecue sauce and flavors that turn this into a whole new meal.
Did you need to do that? Did you need to do that? Also, look at this setup. There's like coins. That's a passport. Is that a bottle of like sugary drink on the floor? That's Fanta. Is it like red Fanta?
Melee also has substantially
compact disc. I like to poo with my friends. I like poo, Kirby,
lower hit stun and block stun, along with the movement that created the butterfly effect, letting these 4 boys make 6 figures a month, but not me, I'm here for the love of the game and £100 a month. Money now! You might consider this a shameless self-promotion, but it's either plugging this or snake oil VPN. If you'd let me boil down the nuance to make for a half-true bullet point, 64's system enhanced characters who can maximize the value out of smaller openings, while Melee's system enhanced characters who can move themselves in a way that lets them repeat interactions at advantage. Kirby in 64 benefits from the systems with easy-to-access combo starters that feed into a game plan that keeps up a strong defense. It's not hard for other characters to combo Kirby, but it's thanks to his huge stage presence that it's hard to find the first hit without trading. It's also not that he's approaching better than other characters. His aerial drift will always keep him locked to the same general area, it's that he's able to capitalize on holding down the fort with his large hitboxes more effectively than most characters. From there, the consistent combo routes let the character move the opponent off stage reliably, letting him take stocks while not having his
that is
weaknesses
so
open to
rancid.
exploit.
Look at
when
that,
that
it's
evolved
just
character gets
up tilt.
brought over to Melee, that weakness in his aerial drift is amplified. Even if he had the same hitboxes as 64, that wouldn't help him all too much. His mobility wouldn't let him keep up with characters in a faster metagame. But even if he could catch you, what was he supposed to do exactly? The new DI system that also impacts crouch cancelling, along with lower hit stun, means that he's unlikely to move you off stage, rarely letting Kirby get a big reward, but also meaning that he has to play more neutral, which he's now substantially worse at doing. Kirby's lack of aerial mobility, along with direct nerfs, nullify the strengths of old and unravel the weaknesses bare. You can even see parts of Melee Kirby's flaws in 64. Look at Isaiah vs Super Boomfan at Super Smash Con. For about 5 whole minutes, it's Kirby attempting to control the stage while Pikachu controls the platforms. Because of Kirby's open access to combo starters, Pikachu is disincentivized to approach, but Kirby's lack of ability to move horizontally while in the air means that his approach can't force Pikachu out of position. The weaknesses still exist in 64, it's just not as strongly present. So in Melee, the character has to lean on something else. But what else is there? One of the hardest parts about playing a low tier is the fact that you can't find a game. If you're going to insult me with your dog shit Falco, I'd at least hope that you have the courtesy to humor my subpar Kirby. Since people aren't taking you seriously, and the people that are probably aren't going more than 1 and 2 in tournament, it can be hard to get an accurate read on where your character gets a lot of mileage. Effective tools on the unranked shitter aren't really representative if your opponent's a devout follower of our Lord and Savior, Grey Stick Down. She mashed Yellow Stick for our sins, you know. Thankfully, no matter how many words of wisdom you put in front of someone, there's always someone who just doesn't care. Just a little treat. Triple R versus Frenzy at Big House 6 is a match that isn't representative of either.
Please stop showing the Kirby Nella. Salmon
The
Nerby.
player's skill level anymore. But when you're looking for Kirby footage, beggars can't be choosers. One of the first things that you'll notice is that defensive walling Kirby, he's not exactly present here. There's the odd spot here and there where it looks like it's 1999, but for the most part, Triple R is approaching a lot. That might seem natural to avoid getting locked down by the laser, but if you look at Inkafest 2019, when Nax is playing Kirby and Isaiah is playing Fox, who has a hit stun laser, there's still a lot of holding control of platforms and preemptive play from Kirby, compared to how Triple R is forced to try and get things started. The way they attempt that is with approaching fair, covering side platforms and his landing with a hitbox, but it doesn't lead to much. At best you're getting a tech chase off of it, which if you end up comboing high you can't actually follow, but just as likely you're going to get a stray hit into nothing. Wow. When using this move defensively, you run into a lot of the same issues, either resetting to disadvantage or getting nothing for your...
No, I'm moaning. My neck is stiff. My shoulder is sore. What do you mean cute noise? I'm literally just nursing my shoulder muscle. It's okay, just keep doing. Oh my god.
Effort. Except with approaching fair, if it hits low, you might be lucky enough for a tech chase you can follow up on. Keyword there being might. A lot of the time though, when Triple R throws out a fair, Frenzy backdashes just a little, and likely due to a little bit of matchup unfamiliarity, Triple R goes unpunished a lot. This leads to part 2 of the strat, roll like you're on fire. There's a lot of roll up tilt in this set from Kirby, and while maybe the roll seems a little unnecessary, it might be one of the better ways for Kirby to get to one of his best tools. Kirby doesn't have the greatest movement on the ground, but still wants to get to one of his buttons that are big, combos at low percent, and is one of the more reliable ways to set up for offstage situations. All of the positive qualities that are mirrored in its low poly version. However, just because it's good, doesn't mean it's good enough to form a whole game plan around. If it's used too much, then it's a great move to bait out, because you know that the Kirby isn't going to suddenly be in a different space after it, or have a shine behind it if the punish is sloppy. This ends up encouraging Kirbys to use the move in more aggressive positions, not only relative to 64 Kirby, who will mostly use it mid-combo and to extend pressure, but even relative to characters in Melee who have top-tier up tilts. Outside of that, there's not really a lot that Triple R can use to push their advantage, which might be why, even though Game 1 was close, as Frenzy adapts in Game 2, he kinda puts Triple R in the blender. Fucks him up so hard that R23's popping off, and calm down, Alex, it's pools. It's not that Triple R is playing substantially worse, it's that in Game 2, where Frenzy plays substantially better, the tools that
just wants him to fuck up Kirby. Going to need that boy into a more malleable state.
Triple R is getting advantage off of are exploited more for the own goal that they are. And really, what can Triple R do here but their best Jamie Pollock impression? Between 64 and Melee, Kirby seemingly got kicked in the teeth, and he was, but he also became a fish out of water. The systems that benefited the character got warped, not intentionally to drown a top tier, but because that's what the sequel was going to be. It was going to be a little faster, with things a little less certain. It was going to be a place where Kirby, a character who benefited from the world they existed in, would be mechanically taxed to death. It's like the worst nightmare of a billionaire. It just goes to show that our little games can be a bit weird. What works in one game doesn't always align itself with the next. And if you're unfortunate enough to never get a patch, your character might be perpetually sitting comfy at the top, or never even have a shot at cracking the honorable mentions of a PR.
All the little extras in these videos are excellent. It is kind of amazing to me the absolute quality that Super Smash Bros. YouTubers have managed to create in their niche. And I think that it's given Smash Brothers videos in general, right? Like, because the entire ecosystem is concentrated on doing, oh, hold on, I need to like recalibrate. There we go. Okay, I think that's a little better. Because all of these Smash YouTubers are so concentrated on, what's going on here? Hold on. Something's up with my tracking. I think a little bit. Anyway. Because all of the videos are so well made, they end up they end up all sort of having a an appeal to people outside of it. Oh, okay. Gotcha, Twack. Smash players are good at noticing tiny details. Yeah, right? Massey's video on skateboarding games. Ooh, okay. That sounds interesting. That does sound interesting. I want to tinker while I am already in, like, while I'm in stream. Yeah. Okay, if I adjust that back, that'll probably fix the problem that I'm seeing. There we go. Okay, yeah, that's better. I fixed it. I'm quite happy that I'm familiar enough with adjusting and tinkering VTubers that need to move that a little bit. Okay, that's probably better. Maybe? Bring it down. Okay, there we go. I've gotten good enough at tinkering that I see a problem and I know which parameters to adjust to make it better. In fact, let me, I just want to tinker a little bit. Just adjust that a small, tiny bit. Okay, that's good. I think that's better. Okay, no, bring it back up. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's better. That's better. Much better. We're back, baby. Oh, if I'm going to save this, this freezes it. Okay, there we go. I am as Evolution. I'm a tinkerer. You guys want to check out that CoffeeZilla video? Because a YouTuber bank won't let you withdraw money.
Today we're talking about a bank promoted by YouTubers that's now become a casino and users can't get their money out.
This video is sponsored by Yotta Savings.
Yotta, Y-O-T-T-A.
Yotta Savings?
The Yotta Savings app, maybe you saw a couple people talk about this.
Yes, I have seen people talk about Yotta recently.
Hey, my name's Daniel.
Not the Yottas. Not the Yottas.
My wife and our family has 18,000 in Yotta that we can't get out.
Over $60,000 frozen up in Yotta.
$15,440.06 frozen in Yotta.
$7,270.60 frozen.
$583.
$98,000 frozen in Yotta.
94,000, give or take, frozen.
$46,699.
Yeah, it's a disaster, and we're going to break down what happened. Let's start with the basics. A few years ago, Yotta Savings advertised itself as a no-lose lottery through YouTubers, where you'd get a lottery ticket by saving money rather than spending it. It's called gamified savings, and some took it beyond a sponsorship and bought equity in the company because they liked the idea that much.
Okay, if you're talking about profits, right, you have to ask yourself, where's the money for these lotteries coming from? I'll tell you where the money from the lotteries are coming from. They're coming from dividends. I'm willing to bet that this company, rather than giving people a larger dividend, They just pool a chunk of the dividends into a lottery instead. What's a dividend? When you put money in savings, the
Scam
bank
content
will...
creators, Yata must. The money I must run with.
Scam content creators, Yata must. The money I must run with. Okay, here we go.
So when you put money into a savings account, the bank will take that money, right? A bank is only required to keep 10% of the money that is in the bank as liquid, as like liquid currency. So that being, the literal dollars, right? That remains untouched. The other 90%, the bank invests in order to make money. This is frequently how banks make money. This is one of the ways they make money. They take the money that you put into their bank, and they invest it, and they make money on these investments. These are often, long-term investments, safe investments. So banks will take all this money and just make more money off of your money by providing a service, and then you bring the money to the bank, and you don't invest it because they can keep it safe, right? Like, this is normal. And then the Federal Reserve federal insurance means that if a bank goes bust, everyone's money is guaranteed, which means that people won't panic draw their money out. This is I'm worried that I'm getting into the weeds a little bit here. But yeah, this is called fractional reserve banking. So that 10% of money that a bank keeps on hand is to ensure that if people want to withdraw their money, then they can get it, right? That's why when you go to the bank, you can pull out all your money if you want to. It's because they keep some money liquid. They're required to. And sometimes when, even if you can't withdraw your money immediately, right? This is not something that happens anymore. You go to the bank, you can withdraw your money. You don't end up with bank collapses like we did during the Great Depression because of the Federal Reserve. As much as people complain about the Federal Reserve is responsible for the fact that you no longer have to worry about losing all the money you have in the bank anymore. It's what gives you that peace of mind. A lot of people alive today never had to worry about that. And they forget that was not always the case. People would just lose all their money in the bank sometimes. That would just happen. All of your savings would just disappear. Anyway, the gold standard caused problems, unfortunately. It makes a lot of sense, but it caused problems. Yeah, orthogonal. It is cool for the bank owners, but also if you lose all the money, if the bank loses all the money, then it's federally insured, so the government will, make everyone whole up to a certain point. What was the point I was originally making? I was trying to explain dividends, right? So when a bank invests your money, as a return, they will give you a small percentage of the money that they made on your money. And that way, how, at the end of the year you have a dividend statement in your bank account. That is the money that they give you a percentage of the money that you have in savings as more money. It's typically very small. Very small. Not better than investing, certainly, if you're trying to increase your money. Anyway, that's what a dividend is.
The most viral example of this was...
So my bet is that they are instead of paying out dividends, they are taking that money and doing a lottery.
bought equity in the company because they liked the idea that much. The most viral example of this was Graham Stephan, who claimed that I bought a bank.
I decided to invest an undisclosed amount, and now I can officially say I am a small owner in Yada Bank.
Now these videos are deleted, as Yada has become more than a harmless savings app, and users can't get their money out. But to understand what exactly happened, let's first go back to when they demanded an apology from me back in 2022. They made a brief appearance in a video called The Most Evil Business in the World, and for some reason they didn't like the cameo. They said, quote, given these false claims, we would like you to issue a statement in a video clarifying that your claim that Yada is a scam is false and misleading. Now, I never said that exactly, so I didn't apologize, but I found the next bit a bit more baffling. They tell me, quote, you could also conduct an interview with Adam Moelis, the co-founder and CEO of Yada, if you wish, which I found odd.
My neck is
Either
stiff.
way, I decided to today take them up on their offer. 2 years later, when I checked back in on Yada and found customers' accounts have been frozen and their website looked more like a casino than a no-lose lottery. On their app, Yada now offers roulette, dice, blackjack that you can lose money on. Now, honestly, I was shocked by this. This is the same company that's saying play the no-lose lottery, regular lotteries are scams, they prey on innocent people. Now they're offering gambling. So, of course, I reached out to the CEO. And he told me Yada is not actually gambling.
Yeah,
Quote,
Scottish, I could use a neck massage.
Sweepstakes
I
earlier
could really
this
use
year.
one.
Sweepstakes is not gambling. We worked extensively with lawyers in the space to build out the program. Now, I don't know which lawyer told Yada blackjack isn't gambling, but it's time to get your money back. All Yada is really doing is running a loophole. The CEO says you can't actually buy Yada Cash, but this is a very...
Yeah, Spectral, wasn't that what wasn't someone making that joke last night? Let's go gambling. Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it.
Very sneaky claim, because one way to get Yada Cash is by purchasing tokens on the app. These tokens are pointless, except that they come with free Yada Cash. Spend $10, get 13 free Yada Cash to gamble with. The more you spend, the more free Yada Cash you get. It's really just a stupid loophole to claim that this...
It's so scummy. The tokens don't do anything. You're actually buying the Yada Cash, but they're saying that that's added. Oh, that is so scummy. It's tricky. Friend bucks. This has been really popular in Silicon Valley. Banks that are not banks. They are not FDIC insured, but they offer some other advantage over a normal bank. And this has been pulling a lot of people in. These sorts of businesses, and they go bust frequently because they tend to be very aggressive with the money that they are given.
Now I'm getting paid cash with Atlas Earth. We got virtual land all across the globe. The next wave is digital, catch me on the way up. The glow up is visible, couple more. Watch mine gon' go up, it's about to go nuts. It's about to go nuts. Now I'm getting paid red in cash with Atlas Earth. Atlas Earth. Atlas Earth.
Watching my income go up, and it's just like fractions of a cent. Yeah, put your money in Atlas Earth instead. You'll be getting money on your money.
All sweepstakes, and that blackjack, dice, and roulette are somehow not
I know
gambling.
other things that go bust frequently, but I don't see them asking for crypto.
Yeah, you're right, I don't.
Which is, of course, ridiculous. But most interesting, I think, is the admission from the Yada CEO that, quote, yes, this is at odds with the initial mission to encourage savings. The savings-based business model wasn't working, so we decided to pivot. But pivot to what? To the exact thing your system was designed to fight? Stupid lotteries that waste people's money?
Yeah, they're like, gambling is bad. And then they're like, whoopsie, now we're gambling.
And you pivot to just getting people hooked on actual gambling? Is that it? It's like me starting a methadone clinic only to pivot to selling heroin because that's where the real money is. It's utterly ridiculous, and I told their CEO as much. And to my surprise, he responded asking me for help. Quote, You can make your own moral judgment of whatever you want, that's fine, but the issue that matters is that our customers haven't been able to access their funds for nearly 3 weeks. I think you can help. And honestly, he's right. I do want to help Yada's customers not getting their money, but I can't ignore that Yada is a savings app that became a casino, the exact thing they were fighting, and that's disgusting.
Yeah, I immediately think, right, of so Yada Bank has all of the energy of a homophobic priest describing gay sex and then learning something about himself, right? Yada, a priest is like, all those homosexuals in intimate contact with each other, caressing each other's bodies, grabbing their plump buttocks, and sweating on each other. I'll my flock. I will be right back. It's like that, right? Yada Bank was like, gambling is so bad. It convinces people to give up their money, and they do it uncontrollably, and then the people who are running the casino, they make so much money. I'll be right back. I need to make a
have great vagina. I love ya.
The difference is that the priest has a very happy life after this. After coming to understand himself, Yada Bank ends up getting people hooked on gambling, and then this happening. Hi, Mango. Good to see you. Oh, Mango. Look. Look at the update to the mouth tracking. It looks so much nicer. Check it out. I'm so happy with how it looks. It's a combination of new presets and some new rigging from Susu. Ah. Hey, Mingo. It is cute though. I'm so glad that the new mouth rigging also shows off the fang better. Ha. I like it. Yeah, people didn't realize that I had a fang. Look, fangs are peak character design, and there is nothing that anybody can say to convince me otherwise. Midna's a baddie.
2, YouTubers brought people into a financial product that is now broken, and rather than address it, most of them have gone radio silent. Some are deleting their original videos. Now, of course, most of these YouTubers who promoted it had no idea Yada was going to pivot from savings to gambling, or that users' accounts would be frozen. But this is all the more reason that YouTubers should not be getting in the business of promoting
I have no idea if you
financial
know
products,
how funny that
especially
was, but my
finance.
flock, I will be right back, is an immediate addition to my repertoire of sayings.
My flock, I will be right back.
YouTubers. I've spoken to a lot of these people. They all tell me the same thing. Oh, I feel so bad. It's not my fault. I had no idea. And that's all fine. But when people bring...
Oh, Sonny, you had money in Yada. Yeah, good thing you got out. This is one of the reasons, by the way, why I am so hesitant to take sponsorships. Because when I take a sponsorship, I am effectively supporting whatever business is paying me, right? I have turned down lucrative offers from Raid Shadow Legends, or like I just haven't responded to Raid Shadow Legends, to BetterHelp, to I almost got in. I almost took a BetterHelp sponsorship right before they started getting some negative attention. What else? Like they're just a lot. I feel like, yes, I could have made a lot more money, but I feel like it would take a really good sponsorship for me to change it. Like something that I am confident in and know. Now, to be clear, like, I am not above doing sponsorships in principle, but the kinds of sponsorships that YouTubers get offered, I am dubious of. I am not confident in most of the companies that get shilled. Yeah, it's not worth the reputational damage and the damage that I would do to my viewers. I'm trying to do something generally good for people. Trying to. It's not worth it. I mean, even beyond morals, right?
Which is why this stream is sponsored by Smellborp's Salvage and Scrapyard.
I would play a game on stream, right? Like, I'd take a game sponsorship, depending on the game. But there are also certain things, right? If, like, I would love to get sponsored by a tea company. Like a tea company that I get tea from. I'd take that. I'd take a sponsorship like that. 100%, right? Like, I like tea. If their tea is good, yeah, I'll take a sponsorship. But it's a little different, right? Like, this is YouTubers who are trying to say, "Oh yeah, put your money in here." I am implicitly saying, like, yes, I'm being paid by this company, but if I were to promote Yada Bank, I would implicitly be saying, put your money in here, your money will be safe. Thanks for the bits, Bugsy. This stream is sponsored by Nathan's Hot Dogs. We do not use gorilla meat.
Up your name as an explicit reason they got into this savings account.
Thanks for the bits, teleporting helicopter. And also thank you, Ender.
It starts to ring a lot more hollow.
So my brother actually told me about it. I'm pretty sure he found it through the Graham video.
That would have been Graham Stephan.
Stem Graham video.
Graham Stephan's.
Graham Stephan video.
Graham Stephan came out with a video.
Graham Stephan, Andre Jek, guys that I like as, financial YouTubers.
Yeah, this is the reason I hold financial YouTubers to a higher standard. Overwhelmingly, I find them to be more influential. Although, I have to say again, I don't hold them or anyone else personally responsible. I hold them all irresponsible for promoting financial products. This is not like promoting Dollar Shave Club, where people get a product and that's it. If the company goes bust, it doesn't matter. Financial...
Can I just also mention, it is really embarrassing when the terms of the agreement are bare obvious. Oh, by the way, could we get a shout out from Mango? Mango. There's one in particular that really annoyed me. Was it Bismuth who did it? I think it was. Oops.
The A button challenge in Super Mario 64 consists of trying to complete the game without using the A button.
To be clear,
how did he do?
Bismuth is a very good YouTuber who talks about speedrunning, right? Now, here I'll just show some of the intro. Like he was talking about the strategies used to beat Super Mario 64 without using the A button, and they worked. They did it. But check this out.
2024 Super Mario 64.
Right? And Bismuth never shows his face, right? That is just a stylistic decision from Bismuth, much like me. But look at this.
64 was beaten in 0 presses of the A button by Marble.
Mango.
It's done.
Yeah, it had to be the Wii Virtual Console version because there is a bug in the Wii Virtual Console version that is not in the Nintendo 64 version. There's a rounding error that is present in the Wii Virtual Console that is not present in the Nintendo 64 version.
Guys, it is done.
But watch
in
this.
real time on the real console with a real controller in 86 hours. So how did he do it? Before we go on, I want to talk to you about control. When I wake up in the morning, I always want to start recording right away, and I can never take the time to make a healthy, balanced breakfast without losing that sweet morning voice. If you're like me and you just want to get working or gaming in the morning, then Control is made for you.
So, one of the requirements, I use this technique, by the way, recording under sheets, recording under a blanket. It's for sound deadening. it's a cheap way to soundproof your recording. I do it for Down the Rabbit Hole. It achieves the same thing as putting those foam panels on your wall. Just why not bring it closer? Why not make the room smaller? If you want really good audio, this is a really good hack. The very funny thing about this, the reason that he is on camera right now is that there are generic stipulations in every YouTube sponsorship contract. And one of those stipulations is that you must show your face as you are endorsing the product, because that shows, research has shown that people are more likely to purchase a product or a service if the person recommending it shows their face. It's marketing bullshit. They demand, even YouTubers who do not typically show their face in their videos, they demand that they do it. That is why you see people putting their faces in their videos for sponsorships and for no other part of the video. What studies? You need to understand that a lot of people in marketing are they're a superstitious bunch. They will see a single study, uncorroborated and unsupported, unreproduced, and decide that that is what they need to do to make their marketing better. And then this starts to spread like a game of telephone. Everyone starts doing it because they see that other marketing teams are doing it this way. And this is the way that marketing practices that offer no benefit end up being proliferated through industries. Hello, Jelly. There's something kind of pure about someone coming into a stream and just saying, hello. I kind of appreciate it. Yeah, marketing is kind of a superstitious. There are superficial similarities to superstition. By the way, NordVPN is not even the VPN that you want to use if you actually want to use like a good VPN. You want a good VPN? To be clear, you probably don't need a VPN. There are very few circumstances in which a VPN will actually improve your security, your personal security. But if you absolutely need a VPN, for example, if you're trying to get something that is region locked, Mulvad is probably the one you want to go with.
Control has meal replacement shakes that are low in sugar, high in fiber, and contain 23 grams of protein. They keep you full for at least...
Yeah, if you talk to anyone who is in cybersecurity, Mulvad is what they recommend. It's one of the big ones that you recommend. $5 a month. It stayed that way for a long time. You get like 5 devices or something. Yeah, Shigoli ravioli. Like, this is the problem. VPNs like NordVPN have tried to convince everyone that they need a VPN, but the average person does not need a VPN. VPNs will not protect you from viruses. They will not protect you from Trojans. They usually will not protect you from being identified by anything, especially if you're logged in. Most online services that the average everyday user uses, it requires you to log in. And that will all be connected with one another. So, most of the attack... a VPN will not protect you from getting phished. All of the most common routes of attack will not be prevented by using a VPN. The only time an average internet user would ever want to use a VPN is to get around region locking. The only other use is to obscure your already anonymous internet use. Even then, there are some ways that you can be identified. There are lots of ways you can be identified. A VPN, let me put it this way. If you are trying to be secure online, like if you are trying to do something, if you're trying to hide activity online, and you just say, oh, I want to be safer, I'm going to use a VPN. You don't need a VPN. VPNs are just one part of a system you should be using if you truly want to completely mask your activity online. And if you don't know how to do that, you probably don't need a VPN. A VPN will not enhance your security. There's other uses in terms of risk. Right, but those uses are specific and not something that an average internet user needs, has any use for. Honestly, the best thing you can do to improve your security, 2-factor authentication. I swear to God, the number of people who would be saved by 2-factor authentication is massive. Oh, Spectral, what is this?
Anyways, let's just get into the actual video. But first, have you ever wanted to safely browse the internet without having to worry about your privacy? Did you ever wish you could see what other countries have on their version of Netflix? Well, too bad! Fuck you! Moron. Fucking idiot. Alright, so let's start. Anyways, let's...
That's fair, Neri. I'm sure that there are some more use cases for VPNs. I'm sure that there are some, but I feel like you should have a specific use in mind for a VPN if you're going to get one. If you don't know why, let me put it this way, Neri. If you don't know why you're getting a VPN, you shouldn't be getting a VPN. That's the best way I can put it. It doesn't matter with one of the potential largest PII leaks coming from a data broker happening soon. Oh, great. Great. Thanks for the heads up, Neri. Great. Oh, thanks for the raid. Welcome in, Soma, and welcome in, everyone. Little Neko's coming to play. Careful. I'm an owl. And maybe you're looking pretty tasty. Welcome in. The point I'm making is that if you don't know why you're getting a VPN, don't get a VPN. That's all. Interesting, Neri.
Guys,
And
don't
that doesn't
listen to him. He's a furry.
Silence. Silence. Owlets, give these raiders the sniff check. This is good, though. Anyways, we are getting off track.
Products are different. You are asking people to put their money somewhere. If in 5 years that goes bust, people are going to remember you advertised it to them. And if you're
Thank you,
uncomfortable
Tisha.
with that,
I
if
like
you
it
think your
too.
bank might blow up in 5 years, don't promote it. Shill a VPN and have a nice day. But if you insist on telling people the best place to put their money, you better not be upset when they listen. By the way, as I was editing this video, someone released a podcast sponsored by,
Yeah, Soma.
you guessed it,
Yeah.
Yada.
Yeah, like I said, unless you have a specific purpose in mind, don't get a VPN. You won't get any use out of it.
This episode is brought to you by Yada.
This is despite the fact that currently withdrawals are frozen. And now I want to pivot myself and talk about frozen funds, which is a huge problem that goes beyond Yada and influencers. Since early May, many fintechs, including Yada and Juno and many others, have had all their user funds frozen. Up to 200,000 accounts are affected, and it's for many reasons that surprised users.
No,
See,
I get you,
most
Neri.
people saw these companies like Yada as banks. Remember, Graham Stephan even said, I bought a bank.
I just bought a bank.
But this isn't quite accurate. These are fintech companies, not banks. They're not holding anyone's money. They're not FDIC insured. They have a bank they work with that is FDIC insured, and that's where your money is sent to. In this case, the main bank is called Evolve. Normally, this distinction doesn't matter, but when things go wrong, it makes all the difference. So does the distinction that fintech companies like Yada don't work directly with Evolve. They have a middleman called Synapse. Now, I want you to think of Synapse as an adapter. From old tech to new tech, it's kind of like your iPhone dongle. Remember that? Connecting a lightning cable to a headphone jack? That's Synapse, connecting banks to fintech. And I know I'm not exactly an expert on this, so I brought in someone who is to explain what happened, because the next part gets kind of confusing.
My name is Jason Mikula.
Fintech as a term annoys me. It feels buzzwordy. Yeah, it's just layers of trash. And there is a part of me, a deep part of me, that gets really annoyed at people who continually try to whose entire business model is shuffling money. There is something that bothers me about it. Like, oh, we can invest your money in this particular way to make you the most money. It's like, how about you could be performing a service that makes the world directly better. Maybe that's just my ignorance speaking. The companies that talk about wanting to shift from being fintech to techfin. Oh, good. Great. Hey, everyone. I finally found a kind of finning that I like. Finning these companies. Yeah, no, I understand, Neri. I understand that there are money shufflers who are very vital in our modern economic system. I think I get more annoyed at the people who say, oh yeah, invest in our coin that exists entirely to just get money from people. It's a more efficient method of organizing money, and then it's just not. I understand the necessity of some money shufflers. This kind of thing, though, Yada, kind of annoys me.
I spent about over a decade in fintech and banking, including at Goldman Sachs. So I have some experience in the sector.
What actually has gone wrong here?
So the sort of proximate cause was on Saturday, May 11th, Synapse.
I am talking about a personal pet peeve here, by the way. This is not me saying, oh, this is bad. Oh, this is objectively bad. This is me talking about my personal annoyances. I'm not trying to make a sweeping statement of good and bad in the world. This is me personally being annoyed. And maybe it's because I don't understand it. Maybe it's just because I don't understand.
Which is this technology middleware provider or banking as a service provider revoked Evolve Bank's access to what in the court filings is being referred to as the dashboard, which is basically Synapse's IT systems, including actual ledger information. And so when Synapse revoked access to that information on Saturday, May 11th, Evolve functionally froze all of those programs by ceasing to process payments. So Evolve's decision to respond to Synapse revoking that access is what led to users being unable to access their funds beginning on May 11th and continuing through to the present.
People are saying, oh, it's FDIC insured. Why isn't that working?
Yeah, so it is. End users' confusion is entirely understandable, right? One of the great successes of the American banking sector and American banking regulation is that you, generally speaking, don't have to worry about whether or not your money is safe. However, that in this
Like, trying to explain how huge of a change that is difficult to the modern generation because this is the current generation doesn't know the fear of losing all of their money at once because the bank screwed up and people lost faith, right? Like, people don't understand that there was a time that you could just lose all your money because shrug.
This case, and it's not the only case, has engendered some confusion for end users who see FDIC insured and read that as, this is safe. My money's safe. I'm going to get my money back. Now, what is FDIC insurance and what does it do? It protects depositors, end users, in the event that a bank fails. A bank has not failed here, and so there is no direct role for the FDIC to step in. If Evolve had failed, the FDIC would step in, seize the bank, and sort of figure out the next steps. That's obviously not what's unfolding here.
Right. So if you have money frozen, it is FDIC insured from a bank failure. But in this case, banks haven't failed. It's the in-between layer that has, meaning your funds are stuck until this is fixed. But it's not exactly clear when that will be because Evolve and Synapse can't agree on who owes what. The founder of Synapse says it's all in Evolve's control. We are doing everything we can to release funds. Meanwhile, Evolve says Synapse's records are wrong. Quote, recent ledgers and data do not align with the actual movement of funds in and out of Evolve. Basically, someone is lying, or even worse, doesn't know what the truth is, and this isn't a disagreement about a few pennies. It's $150 million being argued about. But according to new reporting from The Information, such discrepancies were known about for at least 2 years before the revoked dashboard and Synapse's bankruptcy, meaning this could have been avoided, but it wasn't, leaving a bankruptcy trustee to pick up the pieces and hundreds of thousands of accounts frozen. And we don't know who owes who what or when we'll find out. But all I have to say is, who cares? People need their money back. They were told these fintech programs were safe, now they're stuck. Look, after talking to the people affected, I get it. Banking is complicated, especially as I spoke to Jason, that became super clear. But historically, this hasn't stopped us from helping the elite win complex banking.
And then I did watch this video before. He kind of just talks about more the fundamental principle of it. I feel like he's soapboxed a little bit here, but I get the frustration. You watch average people get bilked for their money, like one way or another. Whoever is at fault, and if someone is lying or someone is stealing money, like it's the little guy that loses out, and the large corporations always end up okay. The people end up okay. Like the people at the top are fine. Where's my money? Get Obama on the phone. He owes me a brick. By the way, I'm going to be doing... That reminds me. The Dracula emote reminds me. You guys want to see the thumbnail for my $10 million attempt in Buckshot Roulette later this week? Look at the thumbnail that I made for it. Oh, whoops, I actually forgot to add something, but I think it is very funny that you can basically turn anything and anyone into me by adding the ear tufts, and I forgot to add a little green jewel, but if you add the ear tufts and a green jewel, you can basically make them into me. I made another one. Where is it? Wait, where is it? Did I put it over here? Did I misplace it? I think I misplaced it. Oh, maybe it's in here. Maybe it's in here? Oh, I made a couple. Let me show you another one that I did. So I'm going to have Alfie. Alfie is going to be coming on Sunday to join for viewer submitted videos, and this is the thumbnail that I made for it. How to survive a garden gnome attack. Gnomes are little, but smart. Benign appearance belies murderous intent. Spellbinding flashing lights are prelude to an attack. Woo. Wild snoosk attack. Exactly. That'll be fun. I'm looking forward to this. It's been a while since I've streamed with Alfie. I'm looking forward to streaming with her again. God, I cannot get over how good the mouth tracking is on this. And how nice it looks. Ah. I also look like 40% more smug at all times. And I kind of like that. Hee. Hey, chat. I am going to have to get going because, FYI, if you're going to be at Ferality this afternoon/evening, 4 p.m., 4 p.m. Pacific time, I am going to be doing a panel where I interview someone who has been around in the furry fandom for a very long time and sort of probing and prodding. And if you wish to attend, it'll be on Ferality's stream.
Guys, don't listen to him. He's a furry.
I am going to have to increase that bit amount. I'm going to scream. Oh, interesting, Neri. Okay, oh my god, wait. Wait, seriously, Neri? What in the world? That's... That's so wild. I'm going to scream without the S. What was it? I'm in Spain without the A. I'm in Spain without the A. Speed. I mean speed. That is terrifying, Neri. Okay, hey chat. Today is story time. Today is a storytime day. And I do need to prepare for the interview. Relatively soon. So, I propose that we do our reading. Oh yes, we do need... Yeah, you're right. Thank you, Ika. I've been a little bit hummingbird brain today. I've been looking at this.
I suggest you watch the Linus video about VPS.
Oh, Netro, thanks for the bits. And yeah, I'll take a peek at that. Oh my god, another hype train. Madness. We have a submission from Null Pretzel making us some koikatsu. Check this out. I hate this. It's revolting. More, please. Hummingbird brain emote when. Ooh, that would be a good emote. Look, people are kind and they're giving bits and they're subbing, and I like talking with all of you. My favorite part of streaming by far is just sitting here and chatting with all of you. Like, the reason that I end up taking 2 hours to get to whatever topic that we're doing is because I just like chatting with all of you. I like it. Data type energy. Yeah. But yes. Enjoying hating whiskey. Not Whiskey Dingo. Whiskey Dingo is lovely. Oh, and Tema, the person who made our dumpy emote, also made a couple of emotes, a couple of other emotes for ASTRALINE. Made a couple of emotes for Lumi. Made a Pedro, Pe. And a Mr. Finland dumpy. Enjoying hating Miles Long. Exactly. Miles Long sucks. Like... I could not come up with a better description. It just sucks. Oh, Ika Pika made a keyboard. Made a stream-themed keyboard. This machine spams come. Let me, Yes, it does, Ika Pika. I'm proud of you. Oh, break flame. Okay, that's kind of funny. Come, girl, come. Oh my god. Lesbo juice. That's a lot. Asexual aqua. Oh my god. Rancid. Thank you, Ika Pika. I think. That's a lot. That's a lot to take in. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. The sketch page is a lot. Aww. Look at your baby. Look at your baby. Owlet. Bell pepper. Wait, it's an owlet made out of bell peppers. Let me get out of the way. It's an owlet made out of bell peppers. Sup fruits. Wait, wrong filter. Sup owls. It's made out of bell pepper. Comfy stream. I'm glad that the stream was comfy. Oh my. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. Good. There's the Make-A-Wish Foundation. There's like a terminally ill children. There's a headstone on the stage. Oh my god, that's so good. There's Ryan. There's a buff Miles O'Ryan saying, I hate Fredrik Knudsen. Good. You are a great producer. Oh, and Trey getting all flustered. Trey's such a cutie. Thanks for the bits, Jordan and Dave. Thank you very much. Trey is so cute. They are precious. They're so shy. Here sit Mango. Yeah. Give Mango a spot. It's Trey. Look at Trey. Trey's like, oh, what's his name again? Shoot, I don't know, man. None of these characters are worth remembering. Oh, there's Demi. I'm just here to see a kid drown. Menacing. There's Fred Scamson scamming everywhere. Oh, it's an owlet and Mango, dumpy to dumpy communication. That's so good. The old Trey, you can use me, ooh, Starry always picking out the most important moments. Yeah, movies caused Mike to suffer twink death. I love how you made him wide. like he was. Hi, Demi. You saw a deer in the thumbnail? Oh, that's not just a deer. That's you. You're just here to see a kid drown. It's you, Demi. 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 It's literally you. You activated Demi. You literally got Demi to see herself in the thumbnail. Winning. And here, trans fats. Literal. In multiple ways. Trans gats. Stop. Ban anyone saying trans gats. Okay. I need to adjust the eyes a little bit. Just where the eyes are looking. The eye Y. I just keep wanting to tinker. I can't tinker during stream. It looks good. I should accept that. For now. It looks good for now. It looks good enough. That's the point. Okay. Hey everyone. Are you ready for story time? Before we start, if your best you is a big old trans gal, then go for it. Yeah, if that's you living your best life, do it. Okay. We are going to be reading a very interesting story today. I am going to make myself a cup of tea before we start because I need hydration. But we are going to be reading a story called A Very Old Man with Enormous Wings by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. But I need hydration if we're gonna do this. Wings, not wangs. God, chat, problems, all of you. Okay, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes, everyone. I recommend you stand up, stretch your legs, stretch your arms, get yourself a sippy. We'll be back in here in just a few minutes. Okay. Welcome back. Hello, everyone. We should get this story started straight away. If I'm being honest, I really should have gotten the story started sooner, but I was just having such a lovely time. Streaming has been so nice. I've been enjoying it a lot. It's been fun getting to hang out with all of you, doing peculiar things. I'm glad for it. Hey, you ready to read? Let me set myself up just right. Here we go. I need to be a little smaller, I think. There we go. Which is disappointing with the upgrade to the model. This will do. Reverend Joe, to be fair, none of the stories that I read are super obscure, right? But shall we? This is a story called A Very Old Man with Enormous Wings by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, translated by Gregory Rabasa. On the third day of rain, they had killed so many crabs inside the house that Peleo had to cross his drenched courtyard and throw them into the sea, because the newborn child had a temperature all night, and they thought it was due to the stench. The world had been sad since Tuesday. Sea and sky were a single ash-gray thing, and the sands of the beach, which on March nights glimmered like powdered light, had become a stew of mud and rotten shellfish. The light was so weak at noon that when Peleo was coming back to the house after throwing away the crabs, it was hard for him to see what it was that was moving and groaning in the rear of the courtyard. He had to go very close to see that it was an old man, a very old man, lying face down in the mud, who, in spite of his tremendous efforts, couldn't get up, impeded by his enormous wings. Frightened by that nightmare, Peleo ran to get Elisenda, his wife, who was putting compresses on the sick child, and he took her to the rear of the courtyard. They both looked at the fallen body with a mute stupor. He was dressed like a rag picker. There were only a few faded hairs left on his bald skull, and very few teeth in his mouth, and his pitiful condition of a drenched great-grandfather took away any sense of grandeur he might have had. His huge buzzard wings, dirty and half-plucked, were forever entangled in the mud. They looked at him so long and so closely that Peleo and Elisenda very soon overcame their surprise, and in the end found him familiar. Then they dared speak to him, and he answered in an incomprehensible dialect with a strong sailor's voice. That was how they skipped over the inconvenience of the wings, and quite intelligently concluded that he was a lonely castaway from some foreign ship wrecked by the storm. And yet, they called in a neighbor woman who knew everything about life and death to see him, and all she needed was one look to show them their mistake. "He's an angel," she told them. "He must have been coming for the child, but the poor fellow is so old that the rain knocked him down." On the following day, everyone knew that a flesh and blood angel was held captive in Peleo's house. Against the judgment of the wise neighbor woman, for whom angels in those times were the fugitive survivors of a celestial conspiracy, they did not have the heart to club him to death. Hileo watched over him all afternoon from the kitchen, armed with his bailiff's club, and before going to bed he dragged him out of the mud and locked him up with the hens in the wire chicken coop. In the middle of the night, when the rain stopped, Hileo and Elisenda were still killing crabs. A short time afterward, the child woke up without a fever and with a desire to eat. Then they felt magnanimous and decided to put the angel on a raft with fresh water and provisions for 3 days and leave him to his fate on the high seas. But when they went out into the courtyard with the first light of dawn, they found the whole neighborhood in front of the chicken coop having fun with the angel without the slightest reverence, tossing him things to eat through the openings in the wire as if he weren't a supernatural creature, but a circus animal. Father Gonzaga arrived before 7 o'clock, alarmed at the strange news. By that time, onlookers less frivolous than those at dawn had already arrived, and they were making all kinds of conjectures concerning the captive's future. The simplest among them thought that he should be named Mayor of the World. Others of sterner mind felt that he should be promoted to the rank of 5-star general in order to win all wars. Some visionaries hoped that he could be put to stud in order to implant the earth a race of winged wise men who could take charge of the universe. But Father Gonzaga, before becoming a priest, had been a robust woodcutter. Standing by the wire, he reviewed his catechism in an instant and asked them to open the door so that he could take a close look at that pitiful man who looked more like a huge decrepit hen among the fascinated chickens. He was lying in the corner, drying his open wings in the sunlight among the fruit peels and breakfast leftovers that the early risers had thrown him. Alien to the impertinences of the world, he only lifted his antiquarian eyes and murmured something in his dialect when Father Gonzaga went into the chicken coop and said good morning to him in Latin. The parish priest had his first suspicion of an impostor when he saw that he did not understand the language of God or know how to greet his ministers. Then he noticed that seen close up, he was much too human. He had an unbearable smell of the outdoors, the backside of his wings was strewn with parasites, and his mane feathers had been mistreated by terrestrial winds, and nothing about him measured up to the proud dignity of angels. Then he came out of the chicken coop, and in a brief sermon warned the curious against the risks of being ingenuous. He reminded them that the devil had the bad habit of making use of carnival tricks in order to confuse the unwary. He argued that if wings were not the essential element in determining the difference between a hawk and an airplane, they were even less so in the recognition of angels. Nevertheless, he promised to write a letter to his bishop, so that the latter would write his primate, so that the latter would write to the supreme pontiff in order to get the final verdict from the highest courts. His prudence fell on sterile hearts. The news of the captive angel spread with such rapidity that after a few hours the courtyard had the bustle of a marketplace, and they had to call in troops with fixed bayonets to disperse the mob that was about to knock the house down. Elisenda, her spine all twisted from sweeping up so much marketplace trash, then got the idea of fencing in the yard and charging 5 cents admission to see the angel. The curious came from far away. A traveling carnival arrived with a flying acrobat who buzzed over the crowd several times, But no one paid any attention to him because his wings were not those of an angel, but rather those of a sidereal bat. The most unfortunate invalids on earth came in search of health. A poor woman who, since childhood, had been counting her heartbeats and had run out of numbers. A Portuguese man who couldn't sleep because the noise of the stars disturbed him. A sleepwalker who got up at night to undo the things he had done while awake, and many others with less serious ailments. In the midst of that shipwreck disorder that made the earth tremble, Peleo and Elisenda were happy with fatigue, for in less than a week they had crammed their rooms with money, and the line of pilgrims waiting their turn to enter still reached beyond the horizon. The angel was the only one who took no part in his own act. He spent his time trying to get comfortable in his borrowed nest, befuddled by the hellish heat of the oil lamps and sacramental candles that had been placed along the wire. At first, they tried to make him eat some mothballs, which, according to the wisdom of the wise neighbor woman, were the food prescribed for angels. But he turned them down, just as he turned down the papal lunches that the penitents brought him, and they never found out whether it was because he was an angel or because he was an old man that, in the end, ate nothing but eggplant mush. His only supernatural virtue seemed to be patience. Especially during the first days when the hens pecked at him, searching for the stellar parasites that proliferated in his wings, and the cripples pulled out feathers to touch their defective parts with, and even the most merciful threw stones at him, trying to get him to rise so they could see him standing. The only time they succeeded in arousing him was when they burned his side with an iron for branding steers, for he had been motionless for so many hours that they thought he was dead. He awoke with a start, ranting in his hermetic language and with tears in his eyes, and he flapped his wings a couple of times, which brought on a whirlwind of chicken dung and lunar dust, and a gale of panic that did not seem to be of this world. Although many thought that his reaction had not been one of rage but of pain, from then on, they were careful not to annoy him, because the majority understood that his passivity was not that of a hero taking his ease, but that of a cataclysm in repose. Father Gonzaga held back the crowd's frivolity with formulas of maidservant inspiration while awaiting the arrival of a final judgment on the nature of the captive. But the mail from Rome showed no sense of urgency. They spent their time finding out if the prisoner had a navel, if his dialect had any connection with Aramaic, how many times he could fit on the head of a pin, or whether he wasn't just a Norwegian with wings. Those meager letters might have come and gone until the end of time, if a providential event had not put an end to the priest's tribulations. It so happened that during those days, among so many other carnival attractions, there arrived in the town the traveling show of the woman who had been changed into a spider for having disobeyed her parents. The admission to see her was not only less than the admission to see the angel, but people were permitted to ask her all manner of questions about her absurd state, and to examine her up and down so that no one would ever doubt the truth of her horror. She was a frightful tarantula, the size of a ram and with the head of a sad maiden. What was most heartrending, however, was not her outlandish shape, but the sincere affliction with which she recounted the details of her misfortune. While still practically a child, she had sneaked out of her parents' house to go to a dance, and while she was coming back through the woods after having danced all night without permission, a fearful thunderclap rent the sky in two, and through the crack came the lightning bolt of brimstone that changed her into a spider. Her only nourishment came from the meatballs that charitable souls chose to toss into her mouth. a spectacle that, full of so much human truth and with such a fearful lesson, was bound to defeat without even trying that of a haughty angel who scarcely deigned to look at mortals. Besides, the few miracles attributed to the angel showed a certain mental disorder, like the blind man who didn't recover his sight but grew 3 new teeth, or the paralytic who didn't get to walk but almost won the lottery, and the leper whose sores sprouted sunflowers. Those consolation miracles, which were more like mocking fun, had already ruined the angel's reputation when the woman who had been changed into a spider finally crushed him completely. That was how Father Gonzaga was cured forever of his insomnia, and Peleo's courtyard went back to being as empty as during the time it had rained for 3 days and crabs walked through the bedrooms. The owners of the house had no reason to lament. With the money they saved, they built a 2-story mansion with balconies and gardens and high netting so that crabs wouldn't get in during the winter, and with iron bars on the windows so that angels wouldn't get in. Peleo also set up a rabbit warren close to town and gave up his job as a bailiff for good, and Elisenda bought some satin pumps with high heels and many dresses of iridescent silk, the kind worn on Sunday by the most desirable women in those times. The chicken coop was the only thing that didn't receive any attention. If they washed it down with craolin and burned tears of myrrh inside it every so often, it was not an homage to the angel, but to drive away the dung-heap stench that still hung everywhere like a ghost and was turning the new house into an old one. At first, when the child learned to walk, they were careful that he not get too close to the chicken coop. But then, they began to lose their fears and got used to the smell, and before the child got his second teeth, he'd gone inside the chicken coop to play where the wires were falling apart. The angel was no less standoffish with him than with the other mortals, but he tolerated the most ingenious infamies with the patience of a dog who had no illusions. They both came down with the chicken pox at the same time. The doctor who took care of the child couldn't resist the temptation to listen to the angel's heart, and he found so much whistling in the heart and so many sounds in his kidneys that it seemed impossible for him to be alive. What surprised him most, however, was the logic of his wings. They seemed so natural on that completely human organism that he couldn't understand why other men didn't have them too. When the child began school, it had been some time since the sun and rain had caused the collapse of the chicken coop. The angel went dragging himself about here and there like a stray dying man. They would drive him out of the bedroom with a broom, and a moment later find him in the kitchen. He seemed to be in so many places at the same time that they grew to think that he'd been duplicated, that he was reproducing himself all through the house, and the exasperated and unhinged Elisenda shouted that it was awful living in that hell full of angels. He could scarcely eat, and his antiquarian eyes had also become so foggy that he went about bumping into posts. All he had left were the bare cannulae of his last feathers. Peleo threw a blanket over him and extended him the charity of letting him sleep in the shed, and only then did they notice that he had a temperature at night and was delirious with the tongue twisters of an old Norwegian. That was one of the few times they became alarmed, for they thought he was going to die, and not even the wise neighbor woman had been able to tell them what to do with dead angels. And yet, he not only survived his worst winter, but seemed improved with the first sunny days. He remained motionless for several days in the farthest corner of the courtyard, where no one would see him, and at the beginning of December, some large, stiff feathers began to grow on his wings, the feathers of a scarecrow, which looked more like another misfortune of decrepitude. But he must have known the reason for those changes, for he was quite careful that no one should notice them, that no one should hear the sea chanties that he sometimes sang under the stars. One morning, Elisenda was cutting some bunches of onions for lunch when a wind that seemed to come from the high seas blew into the kitchen. Then she went to the window and caught the angel in his first attempts at flight. They were so clumsy that his fingernails opened a furrow in the vegetable patch, and he was on the point of knocking the shed down with the ungainly flapping that slipped on the light and couldn't get a grip on the air. But he did manage to gain altitude. Elisenda let out a sigh of relief, for herself and for him, when she watched him pass over the last houses, holding himself up in some way with the risky flapping of a senile vulture. She kept watching him, even when she was through cutting the onions, and she kept on watching until it was no longer possible for her to see him, because then he was no longer an annoyance in her life, but an imaginary dot on the horizon of the sea. That's the story I wanted to share with all of you today. It's a very peculiar little thing. I hate to take my leave so soon after, but I do need to get ready for the interview I'm doing for Ferality. I'm going to be the interviewer in this case. If you are going to be at Ferality and you have interest, I think they're also going to be streaming it. It begins in an hour and 40 minutes. I do need to get ready. I have a couple of things I need to get done as well. It's a very peculiar thing, isn't it? What an interesting story. I don't quite know how to dissect it. Yeah, the channel is just called Ferality. Could we get a shout out for that channel? Actually, Basilicus, that story about the giant beached human is based on a short story, one of my favorite short stories from J.G. Ballard. I think I should read it sometime. I think that would be nice. What do you think? It's called The Drowned Giant. A lot of people don't realize that it was based on a short story. It's very good. Oh, this has been nice though. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, that shout out will take you to where I'll be in an hour and 40 minutes. It's been a pleasure. Hate to cut and run so suddenly. Oh, the story was called A Very Old Man with Enormous Wings. That's the one that we just read. But if you're talking about the one about the drowned giant, that is called The Drowned Giant. I am going to leave you all in the care of Junie. However, if you decide to go elsewhere after this stream, I hope you enjoy yourself. And I hope to see you listening to my interview with Changa in about an hour and 40 minutes on the Ferality channel. Yeah, she's playing Lost in Vivo. We're going to go give Junie some love. Thank you, everyone. I am still so enthused about this new mouth tracking. I am absolutely entranced by it. By the way, I want to ask, how did the mouth tracking hold up while I was reading the story? How did it look? Oh, there's no need to apologize. Shoosh. There's never a need to apologize. Oral fixation fret. Okay, well, I mean, I like some things about it. I don't know. Ow. But please look after yourselves today, everyone. One way or another, whether I see you again today or not. Please look after yourselves. Stay hydrated. Listen to your body and give it what it needs. Remember, we are basically complicated houseplants. We need water, we need sun, and we need kindness. Especially the kind that we give ourselves. Goodbye, everyone. I'll see you again tomorrow. Or later. I'll see you soon. One way or another. Goodbye.